Hey friends, over the next few months, I will be interviewing unique people who have great ideas on how to make radical changes in America's eating habits, boost awareness of our environment, and contribute to the economic health of our country. This is Meryl Kennedy, and this is my podcast. Ricardo De La Blanca, my best friend, brother from another mother, all the things that make me sane on a daily basis. So excited, friend, to have you on the podcast today. Thank you. Muchas gracias for joining me.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Rise Up Your Bowl, as we all know, is the newest podcast to the scene, hosted by yours truly, Meryl Kennedy. And just wanted to introduce Ricardo because he really is a huge mentor to me on a personal level, but also is kind of the brainchild behind Four Sisters, behind the podcast, behind all the beautiful things that we're doing on the marketing side that everybody is always talking about and giving us compliments. So thank you, friend, for being here. And thank you for telling us a little bit more about yourself. So first of all, I just want you to introduce yourself to the listeners and tell them a little bit about your story.
So thank you. First of all, let me tell you something, Meryl. I love you. Number two, it's very easy to work in a company where you have everything. For us in communication, so many times it's hard when we need to create something that do not exist. But in your case, it was so smooth, so easy, such a pleasure, because the only thing that we are doing is showing the beautiful thing that is the country, and also just giving some little tools, little touches for the brand and the other thing that you are doing, because the talent is there, the family is there, the culture of the company is there. The only thing that we are doing is have the privilege to you showing the world how beautiful, how special is Four Sisters and the Kennedy family.
Wow. You've always been our biggest fan. So it's just...
But it's true.
Wow. It's easy to work with. And bringing our story to life has been really one of the biggest joys of my life. I really, before meeting you at Harvard through YPO, which is where we met originally, I really never thought about storytelling the same way, right? So it was just part of who we were and what we did. And people were coming to us all the time, wanting to tell that story from their point of view. And so that was really kind of the thought that I had for the brand in general, was that, we really need to tell our story from our point of view, not from someone else's point of view. And so when I was thinking about all the people I had met, and I was literally going through my LinkedIn, and I was like, oh my God, Ricardo! He told me back at Harvard that this is what I need to do, and this is how I need to tell the story. And so I messaged you, and the rest is history. But I wanted to kind of start from the beginning a little bit. I had previously named the company Kinshaw, and what a disaster that was, right? So you for one of the...
I remember, you know what, it's tough at the beginning because you're a friend, you're smart, oh my God, you're the owner of the company, the CEO, and how I gonna tell my friend that, oh my God, we need to kill this name. So it was not easy. It was not easy, but it's also nice that the whole team, as soon as they saw the proposal of it, so it was not, again, it was a real pleasure, working together. So, but if you want, we can talk about this story, because it is very cool how we start and how we changed the name.
Yeah, no, I think so. So you were telling me, kill it, die, it's terrible. And I was fighting that a little bit. And then I had a meeting at Walmart, and the buyer looked at me and said, I like you. I like the idea. I feel like that there's something here. And I'll put you on the shelf in literally, you have basically 45 days. This was November, so it was during the holiday season too. But you have to reinvent yourself. And so I walked out of, the Walmart headquarters there in Bentonville, and I called Ricardo and I said, okay, Ricardo, you win, but you only have 45 days. So
I remember.
Here to build took Ricardo and the team, but 45 days to reinvent. And thankfully, he had already started the project. So, but it's been an unbelievable journey since then, and watching that story come to life has been even more powerful. So, I wanted you, Ricardo, to kind of, in your own words, how did you create something that existed but didn't exist? I mean, it's like a magic, that you.
Well, let me tell you, as I told you at the beginning, so the advertising or the communication of the future in the past, there was more a kind of imagination or a story really far away from the reality. But in the world that we're living right now, all social media, all hyper connected, where you can discover the reality in 1 second, you cannot afford to really in the market with something that do not exist. And when we were, seeing the potential of your company and the opportunity in the market, and then we saw something that is incredible. So I'm a father as well as you, and there is nothing more important than this legacy in a family. The fact that, and it's so hard to have a family business and moving through generations, and the fact that you did as a family so well, and that now there are the 4 sisters keeping the legacy of the father, and having such a beautiful culture and people. So when I went to the factory and to the land and speak with all the members of the company for 20 years or more, and they express this feeling of family. These are the source that we use to work with when we build a brand. So building a brand these days is really just putting attention in the most important facts that are culture, values, purpose, understanding the dynamics in a company. And it, as I told you, was like a miracle seeing such a beautiful family working together, and the name 4 sisters because there are 4 sisters, and a farm in Louisiana because it's a real farm in Louisiana, and Louisiana is the place for make the best rice in the world. So it was so easy. Then you are a person that also are not just smart and beauty, but also super cool. So the brand was easy to let's make the brand cool, because also the category, the rice category, super boring. So oh my God, it's super classic, and I think that the world needs something better. And as soon as we again saw this reality and then transforming a cool, simple, clean brand and putting there, the results were immediately. So I was so excited seeing how the most important change in the US immediately adopt the product, and more better how the clients are talking about the rice, the quality, because this is also important. It's not just about the culture, about the beauty, about the family, blah, blah, blah. It's also about the product. And I think that you really, as a company, has the best product. When I was in the company in Louisiana and I saw the detail, look, I still remember one of the words when we asked him, what made you work so hard? And I still remember the words. He said, brother, you need to understand that I feel every day that I'm making the rice that then is going to be in my family table. This is one of the most important things.
Be proud of,
Yes, the people that are working. So the people that is working in the company are really making the best rice, the best food for the tables of all the Americans. It's amazing. I always was pushing also Meryl to really became the American rice, because there is no more American last name than Kennedy. You can be more American, and the rice is super American. So and this the culture, I don't know. I love it. And also, let me tell you another thing that I know. I hope we can say this public, but I love that it's not just through classic American, the good for this rice, but also the new generation, the new culture that are adopting this rice so fast.
Yeah.
Wow, for me, it's incredible.
I think that that's probably the most exciting part, is that as people move into the country and people immigrate, right? And we're seeing a huge wave of immigration. They bring their cultures, their ideas, their religion with them. And rice really is a fabric. I tell people this all the time. In America, rice wasn't as much of a fabric of a daily life, right? But for most people around the world, rice is part of the fabric of their daily life. And really, in many cases, it's almost a currency, not necessarily a food group, right? It's part of what they eat every single day. And they care a lot about what it tastes like and how it cooks and how it performs, because it's just, it's the number one staple on their family table. And so I do think you're right. As society changes and as culture changes and as people bring their differences with them, which makes this beautiful kind of quilt, I'd call it, but like a fabric that looks different and acts different. I think that people are seeing the value there. I think people are wanting to cook unique meals, which is super exciting. Right.
But you know what, Meryl, I think it's also, you need to take the glory for that, because you as an American, because you're super American, you have a boyfriend from, so you speak, but not just that, Patches. There is another amazing, I call the Patches the spicy Kennedy one, because it's the crazy one that I love. Is in charge of the channel for making the food, the making the rest. And she's also so passionate about making food for different cultures and enjoying one of the best friends from Colombia. So I also, again, to my point, what I'm showing is just the reality. So you are not faking.
What's so awesome about rice, though, is that literally almost every different culture has rice as part of their cuisine, right? And so you can make African food, you can make, Chinese food, you can make Thai food, you can make, Costa Rican food. You can make any kind of food you want from all over the world if you use rice as kind of your main ingredient, right? Which is all part of rice up your bowl. And then this whole health, kick that we're on as Americans, thank goodness, because we need to be, also, rice is a healthy carbohydrate, and getting people to incorporate, that into their meal and actually enjoy their food again, I think is super important. So yeah, there's no doubt Patches is the cook in our family, and watching her create some of those meals has been phenomenal. I mean,
what I love that is she's also incorporating and loving all culture, different dishes. So and this is something that we also can see in the YouTube channel. So again, what I believe the magic of the brand is, number one, be true, be real. Number two, that you really as a family are super open and connected with different cultures and enjoying. It's not just a show, it's a reality. You enjoy learning from other cultures, and the team as a family, your other sister is in the farm. So it's for real. So and you can see, so the results are a consequence of a really good work and a perfect dream team. So, and about the point of Rise of Your Bowl, this was one of the beginning of our conversations. We really believe that the rice in the past was kind of a complementary element. Absolutely. But right now could be the base, and in most of the houses are the base. And this is why the show, whatever is in the kitchen with Patches, is true, because at the end of the day, you can have rice and you can go to you can do whatever in the kitchen. You can, in a very easy way, have an amazing dish, healthy and very, a tasty dish. So
yeah, no, people don't realize that, but I mean, with very little ingredients, you can make pretty much anything. If you just start with rice. So look, Ricardo, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for pushing me and creating something very magical. And also just, this whole movement, I think, for healthy living and, diversity and inclusion and cooking differently, I think is so exciting, and I love being on this journey with you. So anyways, to my brother from another mother, besos. I love you very much.
Thank you, Meryl.
And rice up your bowl.
We will. Take care.
Bye.